So, welcome to Behind the Briefcase. I'm Paul Blaine, entrepreneur, CEO, and probably like a lot of you, still figuring out everything one day to the next. This podcast is about getting past the titles and the LinkedIn profiles and to hear the real stories behind business leaders, founders, and people making an impact. Because let's be honest, it's not business, it's personal. Now, this is our very first episode, so if you're watching or listening via Spotify, thank you very much, and I hope you stay tuned for the entirety. But I knew we had to start off strong. So someone with real stories, real experience, and a real impact, not just in business, but in people's lives. And my goodness, this man has had such an impact in so many people's lives. So I couldn't be prouder to kick things off with none other. I know him as Big Ian. If you're searching, I'm sure you'll find him as Big Ian. But his real name is Ian Donaghy, but he's Big Ian to us. So he's my first guest. And like I said before, what a first starter there is. You are going to love him in the same way that I do, in the same way that hundreds, if not thousands of people every year who attend one of his shows will do. So many different strings to his bow. If you've worked in and around the care sector, you'll already know his name. You're probably watching this and looking forward to it. He's a speaker, an educator, an author, and someone who's been a relentless voice of kindness, inclusion, and meaningful care. But more than that, Ian's someone with heart, humor, and a story that goes beyond the usual business chat. So let's get into it, and welcome to Behind the Briefcase. So, Ian, thank you very much for being our first guest.
Well, I tell you what, I better go because this bloke sounds fantastic. He sounds loads better than me. I'm afraid you've just got me. And that's amazing. By the way, do you want to know why it's Big Ian? Two reasons. One, I used to be £400, right? I was a £400, 28 stone 8 bouncer. And another reason, because nobody can pronounce my surname. It's Donaghy. So there you go. Nobody gets it right. Well, the thing is, it was an Irish name and it was Donaghy. And then they came over and they didn't want to appear Irish. So they changed it with a hard G. So it's Donaghy. And nobody can spell it, nobody can pronounce it. So I just think, do you know what, Big Ian, my website's bigian.co.uk, and nobody messes up with that. It's dead easy. So there you go. That's two reasons why Big Ian. And it means everyone remembers you. Nobody says, oh, we had that bloke, what was it called? Donaghy, what's he called? Big Ian. Game on. There you go. That's how we do it. It's a business decision.
Listen, shout out to my marketing team if you're watching this. Take note, all right? Doesn't have to be full title. Big Ian's the one that does it. Okay, I love that. And thank you for sharing that with us. What I want our listeners to hear, really, particularly within this podcast and every other podcast that follows this, is the trials and the tribulations, the background stories, the experiences, everything it takes to actually not just get to where you are now, but even into the future. Because I think sometimes, we get to see these big influencers and naturally think that they just landed on planet Earth and became that person instantly. Now, it's a bit like people turn around to me and say, oh, they were born to lead. And I say, no, there's no one that's born to lead. It's a learned skill. It's experience and knowledge. So I want you, Big Ian, to take us back to the beginning, because you have actually got, quite a vast career that's led you to where it is you are right now and what you've done.
No, I haven't. No,
you have.
No, it looks like it is, right? I am the bloke in the car who's driven for a long time and then arrives home and can't remember driving there. But I've got there, and to somebody else, it looks like a career. And on paper, like I look at it, I go, this really looks like I've known what I'm doing. And at no point have I had a plan, an idea. People always used to say in interviews, so what do you want to be in 5 years? And I used to go, happy. And they would put a cross on the page and I'd never get the job. And I used to think, well, that's all I want. Right, where did it start? Start in a place called Towlaw in County Durham, mining village. It's rough as Towlaw, but it ain't rough when you grow up in it. It's lovely, right? It's rough. It's a rough spot, It's and it's rougher now than when I left. We used to have 15 pubs, and now there's one. It's pretty. My street that I lived on, has 6 boarded up houses now that haven't been sold. But I loved that street, right? I loved that street. I played cricket on that street. I played football on that street, both to a very poor standard. And I loved it, but I had nothing to compare it to. But it's made me. It gave me my voice. The reason I'm a good talker is if you're from Townlaw, you're either hard or you're a bloody good talker. And I'm a bloody good talker, right? Even when I did the doors in Durham and I was massive, it wasn't to do with me on North Street being big. It was to do with me being funny, having nice eyes, and being able to diffuse a situation with a joke. Because can I be right? If anybody wants a fight, I'm not really in the mood for that. I don't get paid enough for that. And it's not as if Mother Nature's giving us a load of picture cards to start off with. So that's what you got to do. So Townlaw gave me my sense of humour. I spent a lot of time with old people in Townlaw. All of my street were older, and they were ace. And we would all wander in, and I'd talk to my Auntie Lily and Uncle Ken next door, who weren't my auntie or my uncle, but we were my Auntie Lily and Uncle Ken. Then we had Joan and Frank was a British boxer, and he was amazing, and nobody liked him because he was scary and he had a 21-inch neck, and he was ace. He spent all his times with animals in his garden because he didn't like people, but he loved me. And he loved me mum. And I really enjoyed the people I grew up with. And I used to talk to old people and I used to make them laugh. And they used to make me laugh. And then they gave me the way they talk. And I used the way they talk in all my writing, in all my speaking, in everything. They made me different. And that's it. You don't have to be better. You just need to be different. Because difference, it takes some, if you're unique, it really takes some competing with, right? Because there's all these speakers out there with shiny suits and a slick. And I know for a fact I'm going to do this conference on Thursday. There will be shiny, well-rehearsed people, right? That are just going to plug in a memory stick and just go, like they've done thousands of times before. Nah, that's not what I'm doing. I want to be a bit raw, a bit more. And that's what I get from the Northeast. So the Northeast gave me my raw materials, right? But I went from being the funny kid, the kid who made people laugh at school, the kid who was fat. I was a fat kid, and I was a fat teenager, and I was a fat adult till I was about 39, and then I got a bit smaller, but now I'm I'm 186 pounds lighter than my heaviest now. Now you've lifted 186 pounds, and you know that you wouldn't want, and I carried that around with me. I carry the equivalent of my son and a bit more on my shoulders, and I played tennis 4 times a week, played basketball, did gigs, jumped off stages at universities and stuff like that. I don't know how I'm still alive, but I am. So then I went to be, so I did doors a bit in Durham. Then I got A levels, which none of my mates had. As my dad said when I left Townlaw, don't leave Townlaw, Ian. There's only me can read now. He never meant that, of course. So my dad was the local deputy head. He taught everybody. My dad was a man of the people, a much loved man of the people. Everybody knew him. He taught 3 generations, and he was, put it this way, if you watch me speak, you've met me dad, right? I made a bits of him, and I use them well. I often think he's watching me. I've even stopped talks and said, do you know what, Dad? You'd enjoy today because I'm having a mint time. And seriously, yes, that's quite romantic. Yes, that's something, but it's true. My dad was mint. Brought up in a little house, only child until I was 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then when I was doing my A levels, right, with my dad as deputy head, my mum found out she was 6.5 months pregnant. And as with my sister, as I like to call her, the final kick of a dying horse. My dad was 51. I remember going out for a pool match with my dad. And as we walked into the club, he got a standing ovation. He went, "I'm 51." He went, "Come on, lads. I don't give us an ovation. I'm 51. Many a good tune can be played on an old fiddle." So yeah, my dad was character. I then went to York to train to be a teacher. Couldn't get any nice teaching jobs. Nobody would touch me. I was 6'2", £400. Looked like I could kill James Bond. And they always interview in little cupboards where where you walk in, you'll get interviewed by a little man, right? Invariably some little Napoleon, and then in walks some, Jupiter in a suit. And they wouldn't give me the job. And one of my lecturers got in touch with a special school in York and said, "I've got the most natural communicator with kids, and they love him. And nobody will give him a job because he looks like trouble. Bring him in for a morning." So this special school brought me in on a morning, one Monday morning, and I left 8 years later. No interview. And five promotions. And that head teacher, when I applied for other jobs, she did a closed reference thing. And one of my friends was a deputy at another school, and he read me what she put in my references. It was brilliant, 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 brilliant. And then she would say, "Mr. Donaghy is a rough diamond I don't necessarily want to polish." She liked me for what I was. And then it was brilliant, 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 brilliant. And at the end, it said this: "Mr. Donaghy is a professional musician outside of school. And for that reason, I question his commitment to teaching." And that kept her with me for 8 years. She wanted me to herself because I was very, very useful. Now, in a way, I should be bitter about some of that, but I'm not, because I turned up at that school, the worst teacher by far. I looked around that staff room and I picked one off every time. I thought, right, I'm going to learn your skills. I'm going to learn your skills. I'm going to learn your skills. And by the time I left, I was a pretty damn good teacher, full of all of their superpowers. And if I'd not stayed there that long, I wouldn't have learned it. And I wouldn't be here now. I then got headhunted to work for the Home Office, running crime reduction in secondary schools, where apparently they did a positive male role model. And I went, "Have you not met me?" And set my thing for supposedly unteachable kids. And in the first year, we went from 21 permanent exclusions to 0, which was the year my hair went from dark brown to just for men, dark brown. And it was knackering, but I learned everything about how to teach and how to communicate and how to entertain. And I was at a wedding last night, and 3 of those kids' families were there, and I sent video messages to all of them. I went, "Hey, I may be smaller, but I'll tell you what, you keep your nose clean, you two, right? You 3, because I tell you what, I'm still around and I'm still looking for you." And honestly, I've got messages back today going, "Oh, that's made my day. That's made my day." And do you know what? And this is a strong word. I loved my kids. They were my kids, because the school told me, "They're yours. If this succeeds, it's our success. If this fails, they're yours." And I knew that. I knew that. So much so that when 2 of the kids left on their last day, brought in carrying 2 puffer jackets, and they came around the back and they put on my desk going, "It's our last day, sir. It's our last day. Got your present." I went, "Gone on them. Puffer jackets removed. Got you some beer." So they're walking into school, and there's 22 cans of John Smith's bitter, cold, right? Cold, on my desk. Okay. And I went, total despair. I went, "Lads, bless you, man. Bless you for, this is," I said, "Obviously you're going to be in loads of trouble if they find that you brought all this beer in there." I said, "Oh, bless you, so 22, 22, 20, 22. They're sold in 24s." And he went, "Breakfast." So they had a can of John Smith's on the way to school, bringing my beers into school. And that's a little bit. So I did that. And then that funding ended, and the school wouldn't let me go. They wanted to keep me, so they made me. I was head of the behaviour unit. They funded that. Then I was head of year 7. Then I was next year head of year 7, year 8. Then next year head of year 7, year 8, and year 9. And I thought, goodness me, it appears that they're just giving me it all, giving me it all. And I left and went to see if I could do academic teaching. So I taught in a posh girls' school called the Mount School for Girls, which is where Dame Judi Dench went. I did that, and I did a job share. So I did that for half my timetable and half teaching in a pupil referral unit. So I had girls called Cordelia in the morning, and then lads who were twatting in the afternoon. And it was the most bizarre, there was no work-life balance. My head was just an absolute, it was crazy. But I was okay. Then 2009, my mum died within 3 days. Suddenly reevaluated my life. Teaching, I'd done teaching. I couldn't make a change in teaching. No matter how big a tiger you are, if you're in a cage, all you can do is roar. You can't actually make any impact. And I was done with roaring, really. And so somebody saw me speak at a conference how education didn't fit. And I believe education doesn't fit. People are still doing. My son did the same exams I did, you did, my dad did. And those were exams set up for my dad to be a train driver.
Yeah.
Right. And now all those jobs now aren't jobs. And now there's a whole load of new jobs. So instead, my son is working from home today as a digital marketer, dealing with big companies at 18, right? Working for a big company who've absolutely grabbed him and just went, "You're coming here. You are special." And that's what you got to be. You got to be different.
Yeah.
You got to be different. So then I started working for somebody saw me at this conference and just said, "I want you to use that focusing on the individual. Have you ever considered doing it for someone with dementia?" I went, "No, not at all." He went, "I want you." Ended up working for him for 2 years, won Care Trainer of the Year because I was a damn good teacher. And I wrote a book called Dear Dementia, was in every library, one of 25 books respected for dementia care in the world. I left them. Everybody wanted me to speak for them. Everybody wanted me to work for them. And that's why I don't work for anybody in care, but work with everybody in care. And everybody knows me and I know them. And I get to see care through 360 degrees. And I can be completely objective. I can say if something's rubbish and I won't get the sack or a P45 because I haven't got a job. There you go. That's me. And all the time, whilst doing that, I've had a 9-piece band who gig most weeks and filled theatres and done big festivals to tens of thousands of people. And I still do it at 55. And I'll tell you what, I'll still be kicking my feet in a box. And do you want to know something? Something popped up on Facebook. What was it? Hold on. 2008. 19 years ago, this weekend, I did a gig for Cameron Diaz and Drew Barrymore in the south of France, and Justin Timberlake and Jimmy Fallon got up and sang 8 songs with me in the band. That was 19 years ago. Yeah, I know. Mental.
Well, I'm going to say, never on the first podcast episode did I expect name drops such as.
I'll tell you what. I can drop whatever you want. I can tell you a tale about. I was telling one of my friends last night in 1991. I lost 2 days of my life going out with Lemmy and Filthy Phil from Motorhead after a gig at Bradford St George's Hall. And I'm lost 2 days of my life. And I still swear that that's the reason I wear hearing aids. There you go. I am a speaker with 20% of my hearing. And not many people know that.
No, I didn't know.
20% of my hearing I've got left. Audiologists ask me, "How can you sing?" And I went, "Well, I can't be that bad because people keep coming back." So, yeah, I don't know how much of my hearing I had. But I know one thing. Without it, I live in the bottom of a swimming pool. Yeah. I've done the care show when my ears packed in and I had to do a big thing flying blind. I couldn't hear a thing.
Especially to the audiences that you get in a room at the care shows as well, to do that. But when you done that there, I was like, how many times have I stood next to you and I'd never noticed that you were
Same, they're clear, the same colour as my hair.
perfect? They're
You know,
absolutely
but it's yeah. So I've got these really expensive hearing aids that are NEC proof, that are XL proof, because my old ones used to, it just used to like be like, "Wah, wah, wah, wah." It was like the teacher on Charlie Brown. "Wah, wah, 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 wah." And now, and do you know what? It's brilliant because it gives me empathy.
yeah,
I
absolutely.
know the feeling of helplessness. I know the frustration. I know somebody not understanding. Now, another thing I also know that nobody, and this is a thing, this is a bugbear of mine, nobody knows when these are working. These can stop working. They need the filter changing or the batteries out or the switch off or something. And only I know. Nobody else knows. And
But
I want to know how we train people up because I think dementia plus deafness
oh yeah,
plus sight, if I'm not wearing my right glasses and if other people aren't wearing the right glasses and I'm wearing somebody else's glasses, that's a bad day for them and it's a bad day for me. And if you go to any lost property in a care home, it's full of
yeah,
glasses and hearing aids.
yeah, yeah. Who do they belong to?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Ian, I want to just take you back a couple of things to what you said there, because I can sort of like see when we first started, and I sort of like said, all the background experience and knowledge that's led you to become who you are, and you were sort of like diminishing it a bit. I think everybody just listening to that can see exactly how you've become to be able to command the stage, because it is all those personal experiences from that upbringing, from going back with regard to your dad, the fact that you got into education, you mentioned your dad was a deputy head. So is that what pushed you to go into education as well at that point?
No.
No, nothing
Um,
to do with it.
no. I should have gone into telly.
Okay.
I should have gone into telly. I should have gone into radio. I went to St. John's and I was on the drama, film, and TV course and maths. It was you had to do like a grown-up subject and something that looked like a complete toss-off. And I turned up, and on the morning, I was in this room full of absolute lovies, right? And I thought, oh no, I'm going to become a serial killer if I stay in this room. I cannot. I've come from Towler. I am Billy Elliot who couldn't dance, and I really cannot be on with you lot. You are going to drive me insane. So I went to the registrar there and went, Can you change me to the B Ed in maths, and I'll go and be a teacher."
Right.
I couldn't be on with a load of thesps who were just unbelievable. And they were just, I couldn't be, seriously, it was just nah, nah, nah. So yeah, I changed to the B Ed and I always thought, I'm reasonable. I want that. I want that. I was clever, but I want very intelligent. Um, I did maths, physics, and chemistry at A level because my girlfriend did. Right? And then I scrapped chemistry and I changed that to law. And then I only needed 2 A levels to get into St. John's because they liked it. So I then sacked off physics as well. So I did maths and law at A level. I was being forced into being a lawyer by my law teacher because he thought I'd be magnificent as a barrister, but I'm not a very quick reader. I'm a quick reader of reading the sports
Yeah.
pages, but to be a barrister, you need to, get a load of information. You then need to sift it, sort it, and then turn it into something coherent, and then turn it into an argument, then link in precedents. I'm just not. I'm just not fast enough a reader. Gutted me because I'd love to be a professional arguer. That would be mint. But yeah, so um, I never did teaching really deliberately. I just thought it was good to have something.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That's been good to have something because without that degree and without that teaching experience, I'm not me. I'm not
No,
me.
do you know what though? Mine's it's a little bit of a similar pathway with mine. I started off life as a jockey, so from about the age of 7,
You'll not make the weight now, mate.
no, not now.
You will not make the weight now. Good
So
God, you need a shire horse.
So yeah, I started off, and from about the age of 5, that's what I was going to be. That was my dream, and I did become a professional jockey. And then, literally at the age of around about 17 and a half, 18, I just couldn't do the weight anymore. I was struggling really bad, and there's a whole story that goes behind that. So I just decided I was giving up, and I didn't know what I was going to do at all. And my mom, basically being the scouser that she is, turned around and said, "Well, you ain't sitting on your ass. You're getting a job." Because I was sort of like the mindset, I'm going to take some time out and find myself. To which she's gone, "No, you've got rent to pay and things like that." So she ended up getting me a job in a care home as a care assistant. So I've gone from someone that's signing autographs coming out of jockey's room on Monday to actually I've got an elderly lady, stood in
Yeah.
front of me naked
Yeah.
by the end of the week, and you're like going, "I've never seen this," and it was like one of them. Where's the door? Let me bolt very
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
But actually, if I hadn't done that, my whole career has spun from that moment to where it is. And even going and becoming a qualified teacher myself later on down the line, I hated school. So to go back and become a teacher as well. And then it's led to other things. But that brings me back to something that I actually believe that is missed by a lot of people, and that is opportunity. And I've heard opportunity within your life cycle so far be mentioned a number of times. So like going from the teacher and being asked to go to a job that wasn't your mainstream type teaching. And automatically that opportunity arose. It was probably not something that was in your remit to even think about, but you took the opportunity, and that's helped you in your career go forward. And then the dementia side, again, probably something that wasn't prevalent at the time of moving away from there. Opportunity kicks in, you take on that opportunity. And because you take it and you work hard at it, it propels it to the next level. So I'm sort of like saying to people, when an opportunity presents itself, you have to be willing to take the risk and actually jump in. It doesn't mean that you may not be qualified and on paper the right person to fit it. In other words, have the CV, but that's not what it's about. And that's where I always talk a lot about imposter syndrome. Everybody suffers a form of imposter syndrome. You've just got to be able to
I think
put yourself in.
I think it's a good thing is imposter syndrome. It
Yeah.
keeps you grounded. Because imagine, because otherwise you get that was it thingy Kruger thing where you think that you're great and you're rubbish.
Yeah.
Right. I'd rather think I'm rubbish and be quite great than the other way on. Right. And so yeah, I agree. I am now very aware of when opportunity arises. I'm ready for all of them because I know that they're going to arise. See, Sinatra has on his gravestone what I believe. He had a song called The Best Is Yet to Come, and that is written on his gravestone. 55, I still haven't done the best thing yet.
Do you know what? Would it be, I've heard you sing. So at some point in this, we're going to get those lyrics blasted out.
No. Seriously. I honestly believe the best is yet to come. I think I'm work in progress. Because so many people, and my dad, they used to drive my dad mad. My dad got to 86. To get to 86 in the village I'm from, is the equivalent of getting to 411 everywhere else. Because the estimate in ex-mining villages are like 53 for blokes. 86 my dad got. My dad was the last snooker cue on the rack. All his mates, even the kids he taught, he outlived. And I just think it's it's so it's so shocking. It's so shocking when you don't take an opportunity. And now I'll take every opportunity.
So you mentioned to me, Ian, go back to 2009 and the passing of your mom.
Yeah.
So almost it presented another opportunity to you at that moment in time, which we spoke about pre-recording this, of how that actually gave you a positive motivation to change your life. So just talk us through, where did that come from, why, and how?
Right. Well, up to then I was very materialistic. It was all about stuff. It was all about money. It was all about this, that, and the other. And I was doing all right. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, when I lost my mum, I'd suddenly thought, right, I'm doing this wrong here. I'm 39. I'm doing it wrong. And I don't know, total epiphany, and, no religion, no nout. It was just add on. We need to reevaluate this. And so I did. And the me I am now is a totally different bloke. The me I am now, if I'd have been the me I was then, my kids wouldn't be my kids. They wouldn't be. But they've seen what dad's about. Not what dad does. Not what dad does, not what dad earns, not what dad has, not about the house, but who dad helps. And I've instilled it in my kids. Don't tell us what you do. Don't tell me what you earn. Don't tell me what holidays you go on, whatever. Tell me how you're going to help. And I think that's a key message. I really do. Key message. So I had an epiphany and I got out of teaching and I went into something new and I thought my CV is not going to disappear. So I went for it and I've worked with some amazing people and I've worked with some odious people. And you learn from both because the people who are amazing, you copy them. And the people who are odious, you look at where they're facing and you turn 180 degrees, face the absolute opposite way, and you have learned and you are better. And so we learn from everyone we meet, and it all creates a stock pot. And it's what and who we are now. And we're all work in progress. And anyone who thinks that they're there and they've arrived and that they've completed this video game, I'm playing the right video game.
But I agree with you completely on that point because, we can use the old adage of every day is a learning day, but it depends what learning you want to take from it. What I would sort of like turn around and go is that we don't know what tomorrow brings, and it can change the pathway of everything that we do. You just got to be ready for it. And I think that when we stop walking, when we stop looking for pathways, when we stop trying to grow, then all of a sudden we start to wilt. And I seen that in my own dad, that someone who was hardworking, he'd be climbing down from a tree after trying to saw off with a rusty saw at the age of sort of like 69, 70. And he had COPD,
which ain't great.
Yeah. But I would say that in the last year of his life, what I witnessed from him was go from such an active man to someone that it's sort of like it consumed him to a degree that he was sat watching. He loved to watch the horse racing on the telly, but that became his ultimate goal each day. And what I watched was a very rapid deterioration because he's a Glaswegian. So literally we lived by.
Are you really made of Glaswegian and
Yeah,
Scouser?
absolutely. And we knew it.
Can I be honest? I don't know whether is there a feistier hybrid? Like, do you be honest?
No, fortunately, I mean, just take this for a mix. You've got your dad's a Glaswegian, and he was a bouncer, a doorman as well. So he used to throw himself around a bit. And then you got your mum, who's a Scouser. So literally, if you wanted to wind parents up, it was the worst possible combination that was going to be a force to come back at you. And that's some of the things I remember from childhood was being chased around the garden with a frying pan. My mum will kill me for saying that.
Yeah.
But knowing that when my dad got home, it was like run even faster. And yeah, I'm not sort of like saying get social services
yep. Because silver medals all round for arguing. You're going to lose that argument, all of those arguments. So yeah, crazy.
Absolutely right. I want to just push a point. You mentioned about dementia. So we've got your mom as being such a positive influence in your life and motivated you on her passing to change the way that you run your life or the values. Maybe the values within your life changed. And you then, at that moment in time, I take it we had started because I know you originally from talking about dementia so quickly, but actually pre that it was autism in areas like that would have
been and Down syndrome and moderate learning difficulties, profound learning difficulties. Yeah, and EBD, behavioral problems. So, but the thing is, I grew up with dementia. My Uncle Ken next door was a war veteran. And when I look back, he had Lewy body dementia.
Right.
He had the night terrors. He had all of the things. He had the, visualizing things, seeing things and all this sort of thing. He had all that. And I just talked to him. And the thing is, other people would say, Ken, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. And as a kid, this is mad when I look back on this, because this is really quite insightful for a kid to come up with it. And when he was flustered and when he was crying and upset and this, that, and the other, I said, Uncle Ken, what are you seeing? What do you see? Tell us, what do you see? And he explained German soldiers that he saw, and he explained all these things, and he explained it. So, and everybody else was telling him, there's nothing there, there's nothing there. But I acknowledged that there was something there. And by him talking and him explaining, I noticed he'd be calmer. And I did that as a kid. That's mad. When I look back, right, it's like really quite clever, right? That's cleverer than I was, right? And then my nana had dementia. Only it wasn't dementia. Everyone just used to say, oh, your nana's a bit doolally. That was the D word. She was doolally. But she was ace. She was ace. And yeah, she had dementia. And it was tough. It was really tough. And I'll tell you what, my nana died at 90 and my mum died at 62. My mum died at 62 because of what dementia did to her, looking after her. My nana would have split those more evenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was tough. And I saw what it did to my mum. And so I was aware of it, you know, because it was something that was around. I had to room with my nana on holidays when we went to Scarborough. We went, my nana had dementia and stuff like that. So can I be honest, that's what, there you go, our rock and roll is that. Stories of going out on the beers with Lemmy and then rooming with your nana in a guest house in Scarborough. So I knew about, and the dementia thing, it's affected my family. My mother-in-law got young onset dementia. Dad got it. Basically, so many people I know. And it's just another thing to focus on the individual, not focus on what's wrong with them. It's to talk about the person and not to talk to their shadow, because why would you do that? Why would you do that? So, yeah, I've entered into it just to give people a voice, because I've got a canny voice. You know what I mean? I can put an argument together. I can make complicated things easy. I can write stuff that connect with people, and I can put things into sound bites. I can get rid of all the potatoes and just have a meaty little sound bite that people can remember. Like, for instance, dear dementia, Nana forgets, so I remember. And that is that page I've seen in picture frames in so many care homes. So many care homes. Dear dementia, we didn't invite you into our family, but you're here now. We could focus entirely on you. But if you don't mind, we're going to focus on Nana instead. I've seen that up in picture frames where they've ripped it out of my book, put it in a photocopier, and there you go. And that's all I do. So I try and give people a voice and do the same things differently and get other people to do the same things differently so that they're not part of the problem, they become part of the solution. And I think that's a pretty cool thing to be part of.
I love it. And I would automatically consider that that's what influences you and motivates you to get up on a stage and talk about these experiences to try and change the sometimes the labeling and the stigma that actually goes into the way in which we deliver care or the way we think about people. I mean, you have that huge audience on the palm of your hands, and if you can communicate, as you said, it's been a big part of your life, to a way that switches on light bulbs and makes them walk out and do something differently. Surely that's the biggest motivator to get out of bed every morning.
That's right. Well, try this. On Sunday, we emptied a car park in a care village outside of Nottingham, and we put on a festival that we do every year called All Together Now, where everybody with advanced dementia, younger onset dementia, brain injuries, learning disabilities, all come out in their wheelchairs, all come out in their great big armchair wheelchairs. They're like big supporting one. All of the carers, all of their family, everybody. And I brought a sax player who's played with Take That and Will Young and Lulu and Paul Carrick. Steve played with us. Then fiddle player Kieran O'Malley, who's played every festival in Europe with the Levelers and people like that. And we took a 6-piece band down there and we get people singing, and it's amazing. I'll send you a little bit of it so you can include in that, and it's gorgeous. And what we do is we take the players to the people. We get off the stage and we're all on radio mics and we do it, and it's amazing. It's doing the same things differently. If they can't get to a music festival, we bring the music festival to them. But not just that, we're going to bring you a sax player and he's going to play you a solo. I had one woman come up to me in the queue for a drink the other day. She just came up to me and said, I need to do something. And she just gave us a massive cuddle and she squeezed us like to the bit like like it was like old none. And then when she released, right, I looked at, and her eyes had gone full of tears rolling down her face. She went, "What you and your mates have just done for my mum, I can't even begin to tell you." Then another woman, right, one of the carers said, "That lovely lady over there who your mate on the violins just played a solo with has smiled so much." And her daughter has said, "We lost Dad 3 weeks ago. I never thought Mum would smile again." Honestly, I am on a tightrope of crying every day. Tightrope I am, because I'm on that tightrope of comedy, tragedy, joy, everything in every story I tell and every person I meet. And it hurts on a bad day and it's incredible on a good day. And it proves to me that I'm in the right room doing the right thing. And I feel so lucky. I'm speaking at a conference on Thursday with millionaires, billionaires, and all this sort of stuff. Do you know what? All they've got's money.
Yeah.
I am minted. I am minted. Everything I think, say, and do are the same. Well, I tell you what, that's where you find happiness, isn't it? I don't compromise anything. I don't have to, because I don't work for anyone. But everybody brings me in, and they bring me in because they value my opinion and they value me. And that means that every room I walk into, I know they think I'm all right.
Yeah.
So my imposter syndrome's gone because they've chosen me. I ain't chosen them. And that's pretty damn cool.
But I liking it. I'm loving this conversation because there's so many things that you are saying that resonate so much with myself, particularly in my background. And that is to basically turn around and look at it and go, the biggest, when people turn around to me and say, okay, and I've had this question asked a few times. So how do you become successful? Which I never sort of like say, I don't know, I'm not there yet, right? Because I haven't got a
I'm
clue.
not there yet. I'm there, but the thing is, not as successful as I could be, not as good as I could be. I think that's it.
I don't want to ever hit it.
Yeah.
Because I want to
By the way, I'm gonna have to charge up. So you're gonna see me house.
You've got to give the story of the staircase now.
I'll take you. I'll take you around my house. So you know Bass Brewery?
Yes.
Have you heard? So that's Bass Brewery's spiral staircase.
Blumenack.
Yeah. My house was used to be owned by salvagers and scrappers. And basically all my house is made up of like it's got like what have we got there? That's a stately home fireplace that was probably nicked. And like, yeah. So this is my wife calls this the Tyson Fury suite because it has the biggest telly in the world and it has 15. It has seating for 15. Wow. So there you go. There you go. Yeah. And this is where we chill out. There you go. There you go. We've got and it's all a bit, and the house is called the White House, and that's why it's got, does it say White House there? During lockdown, one of my neighbours made that for me, and here we are in the kitchen. So there you go.
What I was going to say in terms of when someone asked me that question, I say the number one thing is passion. It's actually the ability to never let it go. That if I stand on a stage and speak myself, I'm not really interested at that point whether anybody's loving it or enjoying it, because I am, and I'm
having a nice time.
I'm having a nice time, and you just hope that they are. But
well, I think if people see you having a nice time,
yeah,
it's infectious. How many times do you go to one of those conferences and you get somebody turn up and do bullet point snow? I just want to swear every time I see that keynote theatre that's chock-a-block because somebody's there who they may be scared of, okay, and then they just deliver a Word document. I'm sorry, if you can deliver a talk as a Word document, email me it, right, and I'll have it over my breakfast and I'll stay at home. Right, I don't need to go to the NEC if that's all right with you. So that's what drives me mad.
Because you've got to believe in. If I'm going to sit in an office, not an office. If I'm going to sit in a theatre, listen to a speaker, I want to leave inspired.
Yeah.
I want to leave thinking differently to how I went in. I want to wake up the next morning with me pad and me pen and start thinking, right, that was a great idea he talked about or she talked about. And I always look at when I'm on the stage, how is that connection happening? So it's to me, it's sort of like life experience brings around solutions, but also saying to people, I did this and it didn't work. It's okay to fail. It really is okay to
Yeah.
fail because that's how you learn going forward.
Exactly. Paul, do me a favor though. Please do not go wishing for really good speakers at conferences. Don't do that. I don't want you wishing for really good speakers at conferences, right? Stop this at once. Can I have them all being really quite rubbish, dry, tedious, dull, beige, bland, taupe? I don't want all of these dynamic, really
They are
funny,
never going to take the
emotional speakers.
place.
If it's okay, my children need shoes still. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yes. We'll skip that.
Listen, I've seen you have sing songs on stage. I've seen you do the most stupendous things, including dressing everybody as Santa Claus and just dragging them into a line at
Oh,
UK
yes.
events.
I'm
So
not afraid of stuff like
I've
that.
seen you do the whole thing. I promise you now, no one's taken that spot from you. That you're unique. You're a one-off. So yeah, I've seen people try to mimic and start singing on stage alone, but they're not going to get the original. You are the OG when it comes to that, Ian. So that tag is solely belonging to you. Right. Listen, I'm going to move this on now, and I'm going to just sort of like one of the things that we're doing on this podcast is looking at words, words
Hmm.
behind the person. So I'm going to rhyme off a couple of words, if that's okay. And I just want you to tell me why these words are so important to you and what people could learn if they realize what these words mean. Okay.
Go
So the
on.
first word I'm going to throw at you is storyteller.
It's the best Trojan horse in the world. Best Trojan horse in the world. That's all I am. That's all I ever have been. When it was with my grandma's mates and everything, and I made them laugh, I would tell them jokes and I'd sing songs and stuff like that and tell stories. That's all I am. And that's my one trick, really. Well, I'm a storyteller who surrounds himself with amazing people. So maybe he's a sort of two-trick pony. Storytelling's everything. And
Yeah,
I'm a pretty damn good storyteller on my day.
love that. Okay, elephant in the room. I've heard you say this many a time.
The elephant in the room is something that we just can't ignore. You know, we can't ignore. And every room has an elephant. And the problem with me is I can't let it be there without mentioning it. I'm terrible. I am terrible. I have to say what's wrong. I have to say what's wrong and I have to say what's right. And because of my objectivity, I can. So yes, I will always call out the elephant in the room. Honestly, if I see hypocrisy, if I see ridiculousness, if I see an idea that somebody thinks is brilliant, and I just go, that's a terrible idea. Don't copy somebody's front door in a care home because they're going to, when they open that door, they're going to expect their home. And they're not going to expect a 13 by 13 room with a single bed, generic furniture, and 3 photos of the kids. Don't do it. There you go. Elephant in the room, crap idea.
Absolutely. Kindness.
Everything. Infinite. You can give it away and you've still got more. And it's an addiction to give it away. Because if you do really cool things, you want to do more cool things. And I do cool things with cool people. I've got my handful of diamonds who create stuff. We do Christmas presents on Christmas Day. We reach 200 homes on Christmas Day of people who wouldn't get anything. They get their dinner brought to them, cooked with them. We sit down and then we take a hamper full of goodies and we do it with a budget and out. People are amazing. People will do out for me. They'll do anything for me
It will.
because they will. I am such a cheeky get, right? I am a cheeky get, but it don't matter because it works. Shy bairns get no cats, as they say in the Northeast. They get no sweets. And kindness is great. The things that the team of people who I surround myself with and me do is incredible. We do a thing called Night to Remember at the Barbican, right? This year we're doing it November the 12th. We'll have 1,400 people there. We'll raise about 30 grand and we'll help a load of different people. We'll put on a great show with great people and having a wonderful time and bring a community together. And the age range in the room will be about 95. We're doing a choir on the night to play in front of those 1,400 people who have 10 decades in the choir. We'll
Wow.
have children who are 5 and people who are 98, right? And everybody in that room will give me loads of money to give to other people. It's everybody giving you a few quid, and it's gorgeous. And kindness. I wrote a book called Pocket Full of Kindness. It changed my life because when COVID was on, my life revolves around rooms full of people, and there weren't any. And so I wrote a book, and my past helped my present and my future. And you reap what you sow. And I've sown a lot, and I've tried. And yeah, kindness. I love it. And that's why I'm giving a talk on Thursday to goodness knows how many people have climbed 25 about the power of kindness. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Okay, last one I'll throw at you because I think this is an important word for you. Albie.
Albie. Right. Well, I wrote a book called Never Stop Drawing. I taught kids with learning disabilities. The thing that was really frightening was this, and it has messed with my head, this. See, I thought I was normal, whatever normal is. And I wrote this book about a little kid who's really struggles reading, struggles spelling, and has ADHD and views the word differently. And I realized that I have used my really quite handy skills with words and storytelling and reading a room to maybe hide the fact that I am different, and different not worse, different not less. I am rubbish at loads of things, but I'm really good at a couple of things. And I wrote this book about a little lad who saw the world differently and ended up changing the world. It's a gorgeous book. And when I finished it, I said to my wife, I said, you know, this lad in this book, I said, this ADHD thing, is this me? Yeah. Like looking at me like I'm daft. I asked the kids, is this me? Yeah. Of course it's you, Dan. Of course it's you. How do you do all this just stuff that you do, right? If it's not you. And I asked my best mate, you know, my trombone player, Stu there. And he went, of course. He said, but in a good way. How do you do all this stuff if you didn't? So I'm wired up differently. I'd like to think I'm different, not worse. Different, not less, just different. And imagine if all the world was the same. Now it would happen, nothing would certainly work, and nothing would ever change. So, yeah, that was a bit odd when I wrote that. And can be right, it has rattled me. And I've sort of looked back over my life and seen where I've really compensated for stuff and where I've sort of hidden, like tried to sort of like make so people don't notice. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of, I think being massive was a really good disguise. Yeah.
Do you find that helps you see through masks of other people?
God, yeah. Yeah. I can major empath. Oh, I can read. Oh, the kids that I used to teach, this was great. My head teacher used me as a lie detector long before the Derren Brown stuff where your eyes go down, you look up, you look down, you look left, all that stuff. All the kids used to say, don't lie to Donaghy, don't lie to him, don't lie. He knows, he can smell it on you, he can smell it. And the kids just didn't lie to me. Because I used to say this, I used to say, right, if you've made a mistake and you admit it, I can trust you. And you're in trouble today, but I rate you and I'll trust you from here on in. If you lie to me, you slime on the bottom of my shoe and I'll never give you another minute of my time. I'll be your teacher. And it worked.
Worked, yeah.
They never lied. Never. It was mint. And they thought I had some sort of X-Man power. But can I be honest, I just relied on a reputation that loads of kids said, he's like a lie detector, he's like a lie detector, don't lie to him. So there you go, they did all my PR for me. Mint.
Right, from writing to the speaking events that you're doing, and I know when you do speaking events, you literally organise the whole thing, from the band playing and the concerts and the raising the money for charities, etc., like that. How on earth do you manage to fit any form of work-life balance in there? What does Ian do to sort of like relax and chill out?
Well, firstly, you look this rough, right? Right. I had 2 hours sleep last night because I'm prepping for this thing on Wednesday, Thursday. 2 hours, Kip. Work-life balance. I'm not good at this sometimes. And the problem is this: people with a work-life balance usually they balance it because the work isn't necessarily something they enjoy, and the life bit's something they enjoy. See, I enjoy it all. So I like going for a lovely meal with M. I love holidays. We're going all day every 8 weeks. So I'll never retire because why would you retire from something you do for now? By the way, people who employ me and people who bring me in, that was just a flippant thing that I shouldn't have said. No, no, I wouldn't do it for now. I'd do it for huge sums of money. And yeah, what do I do? I love music. I love playing music. I love going out for a walk, and I love watching dramas and stuff. I love dramas and I love writing, and I just
You're
love doing
you're
what I
living
do.
you're living your life.
Oh, it's mint. I am happy with me lot. I'm 55. All I want out of life is another today, please. So if I can have another one tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
And if I can have one, I don't know, I'll have one on Thursday as well. I'd quite like one on Friday, and I'll have one on Saturday. And Sunday, I definitely want one because I'm off to Cyprus. Then I want 14 extra tomorrows, right? So that'll do for me. That's all I want. I just want a few load of tomorrows, really, because today's and make them a bit like today, because today is lovely. Yeah, so I am. I'm very, very lucky, and I am living a life. As I say, that's why I just want a load of more tomorrows, and that's why I've cut out sugar. That's why I'm thinner than I am. Because can be right. I never thought I'd see 60 to be right. And at one point, when I was massive, I thought I'd not see 45. I've made a decision. I quite want to be around for 75. I've got stuff to do. I've got stuff to do.
Okay, listen, just a couple of things to wrap this up. In obviously, I'm heavily involved in the health and social care industry. In fact, all my own business
Mm,
relate to it, and it is going through hardship at this moment in time. Be it that
mm.
from political pressures, finances, everything like that. So, I want to know from you, what's your message that you can say to the care industry right now in this hardship? It's gonna sort of like say, do you know what? Keep going, keep doing what you're doing.
I'll tell you what, my son, by the way, says that I should have on my website a picture of me and my wife on our wedding day. And on my talk, speaking website just says, "Do you want to know how good a talker I am?" There you go. And
Ah, in
that's what it
background.
would be. So what would I say to the care sector? Right.
Yeah.
Well, what I would say is this. Um, the care sector now, we're going to go to, we're going to go out there and we're going to sort it. We're going to bring in the next generation of care because that's what we need. We need an influx of ideas. We need an influx of young people. And that's what care needs because the young people are going to put it right. Right. It makes me laugh when you go to these conferences, it's called the future of care, and everybody's 50, and you think, well, to
Yeah.
be honest, we're not going to be here for that.
Yeah,
Why are we talking
you're the
about that?
future. You're the future of the care home.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what you
and so we're going to go. I'm personally going to go on a mission around the country called "It's Not Just Care, It's My Career," which, as you are aware of, you have
Yeah.
been involved already. We're going to go and we're going to find out people's stories because, as you know, storytelling is the Trojan horse. The message is we need the next generation of care, and we need to show people that it's not just care; it's my career, and I can't change the financial situation, but I think I can empower a lot of people and get the word out and get all over social media, all over radio, all over telly, all over newspapers, all over schools, colleges, universities. Because do you know what? I love care. It's been really good to me. Lovely people. I was given a beautiful welcome mat, right? And everywhere I go, I see that welcome mat. When I was in education, teachers used to tell you how great they were and how dreadful the kids were. In care, the people are different. I meet different people, and I want to fight the corner for care. And that's why it's not just care, it's my career. It's going to be launched on October the 8th at the Care Show, and it's going to be on every screen at the NEC. It's going to be everywhere, and everybody in care is going to get behind it because of a bloke and a phone. A bloke in a phone is going to rattle that cage. I am not one of the in crowd in care. I'm not. There are cliques in care, right? And I'm not one of them, right? I'm not on that train, and I'm fine with that. I'm not really kind of a cliquey guy. I'm quite happy to be a lone wolf who rattles a cage a bit and people and trying to be too good to ignore. That's all I want to be, too good to ignore. So it's not just care, it's my career. And you know that this is going to get everywhere, Paul, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's gonna be
Everything
caught.
you do gets everywhere, but I can see this blowing up, and it's exactly what needs. Because if I was to sort of like frame how I see you, and there's so many words that could be used, it's
Oh,
probably
careful, because
it's
there's somebody
probably
through there can use so many words as well.
yeah. I'll let her join in a moment.
No,
But it's a word that I love more than any word in the world, and that's disruption, disruptive. And that is literally what you bring. So when you talk about being on the outside of it, you're not conforming to anything. You're not conforming to government. You're not conforming to regulators or the big boys and girls within the care industry. You're sat on the outside telling the truth and saying this needs blowing up and putting back together. And like I always say to people, my generation is when I started in care, it was shared rooms. It was, commode pots within rooms. It
yeah.
was, you know, mixed wards on hospitals. There was so much I could go back. And when people say it's never changed, I say I can take you through a 30-year cycle and show you what's changed.
Big
These are
teapots with all the tea bags and sugar in it
that.
and stuff like that. Like
And if
unbelievable.
my generation could make that change, what can the next generation do? And that's the key.
My daughter says, "Don't worry, Dad. My lot will put it right."
And
Now
they will.
that now that guts me that they have to say that. But can I be right? Our generation has made a mess of things. Total mess. By the way, the term disruptor, it almost sounds like a trouble causer. I'm not a trouble causer. I used to be called Maverick.
Okay.
A maverick in the teaching world. And maverick just means that you do things a little bit differently. And if things need to be done differently, and the world needs things to be done differently, then mavericks are what we need. Because if we haven't got mavericks, we've got like just drones and worker bees who don't want to make any change. And you know, the world's spinning. And if the world's spinning, we need to change. We need to change. We need to adapt. And I am a dinosaur, yeah, but I'm a dinosaur. It was quite funky and does just enough sort of modern stuff to avoid extinction. That's the plan.
Right. If you could leave one piece of advice, lesson, or reminder for anyone listening, so I'm sure you've said this to your own children, whether they're building a business, leading a team, or just figuring life out, what would it be?
Surround yourself with amazing people and try and be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolute key. That network of people you surround yourself with are the ones that's going to inspire you or aspire you to become the best version of you.
Yeah, make sure they're not all yes, say yes. Have people that'll wind you up. Have people that'll sort of really challenge you and say, do you know, I don't think that's good. And be prepared to to say, is this idea rubbish? Is this a rubbish idea? Because too many people just want to hear that something's great, but I want to hear something that's rubbish because it'll save me a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I love no. I love no. Right? Number of people where you ask something and they'll give you, oh, well, I'll get back to you. I said, is it a no? If it's a no, I'm cool with no. Give us no, and I'm out your way and I'll move on. No's fine. And it freaks people out. They go, really? I go, yeah. I went, yeah, it's a no then. I went, mint, see you later.
Yeah.
And it freaks them out. And I
Yeah.
just think, why do people try and be polite by wasting your time? It's not polite, it's impolite, it's pretty damn rude.
Yeah. They're stringing you along. Say
Yeah.
no. Absolutely. Agree. 100%. That's a great piece of advice for people that actually, it's something we say in sales. You find your nose very quickly. So
Yeah,
you move on with your yeses. Don't wait
exactly.
around for your nose to linger.
And not burning a bridge.
Yeah.
Not burning a single bridge.
Yeah, do you know what? There's so many messages in there. Just that bit there, not burning a bridge, it's something I say all the time. Even if a member of staff wants to, decides to go into pastures new in a job, I'll say, don't burn the bridge, right?
Oh, don't.
Because the bridge could open up anywhere,
Oh,
and you've
yeah.
got to be able to walk back across it.
Right, I'll tell you now. There's a few people over the years that I had written very, very, very powerful, well-worded, articulate emails. And I was just about to press send. And I pressed delete.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, press delete.
Yeah.
Right? It's fine. It's fine. You don't need to have the last word. You don't need to do this. You don't need to tell somebody. Just dead easy. Just the thing is, often with some people where you want to press send, just them waking up being them is punishment enough. They don't need to hear a well-worded, articulate, email. So there you go. Just by them being them is punishment enough.
It's that thing of silence is golden sometimes.
Oh, aye.
Just leave it.
Yeah.
Let them have the thought process at night. You don't need it. Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
cool. And of course, if you're lovely to people, it really winds them up. Oh, I think I love that more. All the kindness stuff I do, I like the killing people with kindness even more. Where you're just lovely to people who might not like you, and I think, oh God, that's beautiful. That is beautiful because they love you to give them some resistance, and I give them zero resistance, and I'm just pleasant and lovely, and there you go.
Love that. Right. Okay. This is something we're going to be asking all guests, and I think it will give him a little bit more insight into the person. So you can choose anybody that's alive or dead, but you're taking 3 people for dinner. Who are they?
Right. You can keep your Gandhis, you can keep your Marilyn Monroes, you can keep your Muhammad Ali's. Right. I would have my mum, I'd have my dad, and I'd have me mate Johnny. They'll do. My mate Johnny was a sax player, brilliant guy, and I'd have those 3, and we'd have a right laugh. Because I tell you what, I'm not bothered for famous people, I'm not bothered for sports people, I'm not bothered for all that. Give us me dad, give us me mum, and give us me mate John.
Do you know what? That's why you're a special person, and that's why I'm inspired by you, because quite literally, that's happiness right there. That's contentment. That you surrounded yourself with the right people, and if you could have the opportunity to be back around the table with them, you'd take them over status any day or over what looks good for Instagram. It's all about actually your own personal internal happiness. So I love that. Listen, Ian, I've taken up so much of your time.
No, you haven't taken up so much of your
Honestly,
time. Honestly, this has been really cool, man. This has been really cool.
This is the thing, a lot of people get to see you on stage and they get to read your books and they get to hear and see what you do or sing on stage with the band. But actually, I've learned so much about you in this short space of time that next time I see you, it's going to be a completely different conversation because there's now the connection. And that's what I want the viewers to hear today. There is connection with people. Don't look at the briefcase. It's the person behind the briefcase that actually we're interested in. Who are they? What's the life experience? And build that connection. And if you see Ian in and around, or you get the chance to listen to him at any point, please make a beeline to that stage. And I'm telling you now, he's not one of these people that walks off stage and sort of like walks straight to a back room. He's lingering around to shake everybody's hand and have a conversation. So sorry if I put you in it there, Ian, and everybody's going to be lining up.
But yeah, everyone's lining up. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's the best bit of it. Do you know what I mean? I have a charmed life, mate. What can I tell you?
Ian, where can people find out more about you if they want to reach out, connect, or
right? My website is bigian.co.uk. I'm on LinkedIn, Big Ian Donaghy, Donaghy. But if you type in Big Ian, it'll come to me. And I also do in-house awards events called awardsinAbox.co.uk. And as I say, my 9-piece band is called hugepartyband.co.uk. And I've been doing it since I was 19 years old, and I'm 55 and I should know better, but I don't. Music keeps you young when you're making it and old the next morning.
Absolutely love it. You've been my first guest, and what a pleasure it's been to have you as the first guest.
It's been lovely, man. And welcome to the Tyson Fury Suite. There you go. The Tyson Fury Suite, the most vulgar of places to watch television. There you go.
But if there's a lot of you, very comfortable.
It's absolutely lovely. So, hey, that's been an absolute pleasure, Paul. Good luck with all the rest, and
Thank you.
I'll watch some amazing guests in the future. Bless you, man.
Thanks, Ian. Take
See you
care.
later, man.